Alfred Taliaferro, Mr. Taliaferro TV. I get it. I'm not stupid. I'm not foolish. I understand this is a hip-hop. The content that people come to me for is hip-hop mostly. It's a lot of hip-hop, a lot of down south stuff. I get it. I'm not foolish. But I don't think it's against all odds to understand that most of hip-hop fans enjoy the game of basketball. And this is where we're at with it. The NBA Finals 2017. It took me forever, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna tell you some of the stuff I've been battling with my NBA Finals predictions. I gotta make a prediction, and I gotta make one right now. So in the midst of this video, I'm going to break down how I made my NBA Finals prediction, who I'm rolling with, why, all that right now. Here's what I've been battling with. Two things. Kevin Love is playing phenomenal basketball right now. That is really messing me up right now. Kevin Love is literally 4 to 5 threes a game right now. And he's doing so much damage in the first quarter because the Cavs, they look to get Kevin Love the basketball in the first quarter. He is absolutely lethal coming out of the gates right now. It's a sight to see because it could have went really bad. Obviously, we remember when there was a chance when Kevin Love thought about not re-signing with the Cavs, and it looks like things are all gravy now. After the first season, Kevin was thinking, like, do I even belong in this system? It looks like it's LeBron, then Kyrie, then everybody else. I'm not just an everybody else. I get paid max dollar. People gonna criticize my performance on the court, but I gotta get the looks. So now the Cavs offense and Tyronn Lue did a really good job of turning it around and getting him involved early. You get Kevin Love the ball early. You understand that you're probably going to go to your big dogs like in LeBron and Kyrie Irving. But Kevin Love has touched the basketball so much. If you still need to get the basketball to him for a pull-up three or a spot-up three in the fourth quarter, he can still knock it down because he's still in rhythm. So Kevin Love has really been messing me up. Draymond's going to be on him most of this series unless they have to make Draymond go out and get physical with LeBron for a few plays, or if LeBron heads into the post, they might have to make some adjustments then. Depending on LeBron and the Cavs' mentality and what they've put together from a schematic standpoint. With that being said, Draymond's not going to let Kevin Love tear him up like that. I mean, the brother's one of the top 5, top 8 most popular players in the NBA. He's not stupid. He knows the bright lights are on. He knows everybody's going to be watching. I don't think Kevin Love's going to get off like how he has in the playoffs thus far. And Draymond's a good matchup for Kevin Love. Draymond's got length, and Kevin Love's going to have to defend Draymond at some point as well. Draymond can knock down that three from time to time. It all depends on how his three-pointer is falling. If that three falls like 3 or 4 times, then Kevin has to really get up on him, and then Draymond can still get to the rim. And if he's not making a play for himself, that brother has the ability to make a lot of plays for other people. Remember, Draymond Green had the Warriors won in Game 7, he would have been the Finals MVP last year, not Steph again. And he would have won it in 6 games. Remember, he got suspended for game, what was that, Game 6 or Game 5 because he kind of low-blowed LeBron James. So I'm just saying, Draymond Green would have won Finals MVP in 6 games last year. He shows up when the lights are on. He shows up. That brother can ball when he wants to. He always defends, but when he wants to put the ball in the basket, he can figure out a way. He was lethal. Didn't he put up like 30 points in the Game 7? That brother was balling. He did hurt his team with getting suspended, and a lot of people believe that's when the series changed. After being up 3-1, the Cavs didn't lose a game again after that night. So that's something I've been battling with, and I think I want to leave the second thing that I've been battling off. The other things are just factors in the game. The last thing what I'll talk about is what I'm really dealing with right now when I'm making my prediction. Kyrie Irving and Steph Curry, though, that's a good matchup. It didn't just, I know how this matchup is going to go. For Steph's brand, he needs to show up and he needs to show out against Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has dominated Steph Curry pretty much every time they faced off in the postseason. Let's not forget, 2 years ago, Kyrie Irving got injured after Game 1. He did, he bust his kneecap up? It was terrible. It was a terrible thing to see. He was tearing Steph Curry up in Game 1. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that by any means. And last year, He dominated the matchup with Steph. Steph looked at times, I forgot Steph was on the court. We talking about the reigning 2-time MVP at the time. So Steph Curry, for his brand, cannot afford to look as bad as he's looked in the first 2 years of this Cavs Warriors. Now we're getting a trilogy tonight. Kyrie Irving has been balling, and he's not afraid of Steph. He loves the moment. Obviously, we remember that Kyrie hit the game winner to win the championship over Steph after LeBron's big block. So Steph's got to show up for his brand. That conversation to me about who's the top point guard, and I love Steph, but that conversation runs through Kyrie Irving right now, or Russell Westbrook. Russ ain't in the finals though. I can't keep calling Steph Curry the best point guard in the NBA, and Kyrie's dominating him in the finals. Just not the case. Other things that I'm looking out for, bench play. I think over the first couple years, the Warriors have had a better bench than the Cavs in this matchup, but I actually think the Cavs have a better bench going into these finals. I love Sean Livingston. I love Andre Iguodala. I'll give you those two, but after that, there's a big drop-off, and shout out to Ian Clark from Memphis. After that, it's a drop-off, though. It's a drop-off. You can't act like JaVale McGee, if his head's in it, he's good. If not, he's just kind of out there. I like him, but you talking about this Cavs bench, they got snipers, and this is going to be a three-point shootout in this series. At some point, either in one game, I believe there's going to be a game where either of the team can miss. Like, I believe maybe game 3, the Cavs can't miss. Maybe game 1, the Warriors don't miss. There's going to be one of those for each team. So you're just going to have to take that. And whoever can win that game, even though the other team's out shooting them from the three-point line, I believe will win this series. I'll get to my prediction in a second. All right? So I think the Cavs have the edge on the bench. I think Channing Frye and company, again, Kyle Korver, adding a Darren Williams, who's really starting to fit in quite nicely with the Cavs. And you got so many weapons. Shumpert has been playing decent basketball. I'm not a big Shumpert guy, but he's been playing better. There's just so many weapons on that bench. And also you have to realize that Kyrie Irving or LeBron James, unless foul trouble's a factor, and LeBron doesn't really get in foul trouble a lot, only got into foul trouble one time in these playoffs, and really that hadn't been a problem for him throughout his career. They're going to be on the court with the second unit. So, you got to look at that. And obviously the Warriors have 4 superstars and 2 superstars on the court at all time. Speaking of superstars, I want to talk about this. Is Klay Thompson a star or a superstar, or is he either of those things right now? Because he's been playing like a classified, a glorified role player. Klay's got to step up. I understand that the offense doesn't run through you since they added Kevin Durant, but people don't understand this. Klay still leads this team in shots per game. He led in the regular season with shots per game. So he ain't missing shots. I just believe he just takes any shot he gets. As soon as he gets the ball, he's ready to shoot. And obviously it's difficult playing with the MVP in Kevin Durant and the 2-time MVP in Steph Curry. I get it. And the offense sometimes runs through Draymond Green. He wants to touch the basketball. I get it. I really do. But Klay's got to find rhythm. I don't care if you only take 6 shots, but if you make 3 or 4 of those threes, you're a weapon. Somebody has to stay up on you and literally face guard you because you're so lethal. He's got to make an impact on this series. There are games when I don't realize that Klay Thompson's on the court. That's a fact. It's a point-blank period fact. And that can't be the case if they want to compete. But because then you're talking about 3 superstars against 3 superstars, and I've already told you that I think that Kyrie's better than Steph Curry. And I already know that LeBron's is the best basketball player in the planet. So you don't want to get into that game if Klay's not a factor in this series. But I think it's all going to come down to one thing, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what hurt me in my prediction. It took me forever to come to this prediction. The matchup of the so-called second best player on the planet and the so-called first best player on the planet, Kevin Durant and LeBron James. It's going to come down to this, guys. And I watched Stephen A. Smith gas it up. He was like, at some point, LeBron and KD are going to have to tell everybody to get the hell out the way. And these two brothers are going to have to guard each other. Like, LeBron's not going to have any lacks on defense this year. He's going to have to guard somebody. And KD, he's going to have to guard LeBron. He might be the only guy that can do it. These guys are going to have to guard each other. They're going to have to guard each other a lot. And with that being said, you know what? I battle with this, guys. Making my prediction. This was it. I love LeBron James. I really don't care for Kevin Durant, but I respect that brother's game. And let me make this clear. I respect Kevin Durant and what he does for Oklahoma City and what he has done in that community, even though he doesn't play for them anymore. What he did there, it's remarkable. That brother's giving up $1 million, I know, in one time period. Not let alone what he's did overall. I think he got a good heart. The decision to go to the Golden State Warriors was one I didn't like. I didn't like it at all. I don't think you go to a team that beats you in the playoffs when you were up 3-1. I just think it sets a bad precedent, and I don't want the Warriors to win because of that. And you talk about somebody in Kevin Durant, you talk about a guy whose 3-point arsenal, like his game is total package. His game is total package. Kevin Durant's gonna have to look at himself in the mirror and then look at LeBron James and defeat the demons that are inside of either him or I don't know what's going on, but LeBron James, generally speaking, dominates Kevin Durant. That is the reality of the situation. He dominates Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors want to become an NBA champion, the Golden State Warriors for the second time in 3 years and Kevin Durant for the first time in his career, Kevin Durant's going to have to find a way to compete with LeBron James. Period. That is it. That is it. And I've battled because I don't think Kevin Durant has it in him. I don't think it has it in him to really defeat LeBron James in a series. I don't think he has it in him. So that made it tough because going into the season and going into the playoffs, I picked Golden State. But I just know Kevin Durant doesn't have it in him to be a killer. But I can't pick Cleveland either. See, here's what it came down to with me. You add the Golden State Warriors was 73-9 in the regular season. They took the Cavs to 7 games without Kevin Durant. You'd assume, even though you lost a couple pieces on the bench, when you trade out Harrison Barnes pretty much for Kevin Durant straight up, you assume that this team is better than they were last year, even though they lost a couple more games in the regular season. They haven't lost yet in the postseason yet. So you assume that this team is better, even without the services of Steve Kerr, who won't be coaching tonight and probably won't be coaching this series. Mike Brown is coaching against his former team, the Cavs, who fired him twice in 4 years. You'd assume that this makes the Warriors better. And I'm giving y'all the prediction of what should happen, not necessarily what I want. I told y'all I'm rooting for the Cavs and not the Warriors. This is what should happen. This is my job to tell you what should happen. The Warriors should win this series in 6 games. That's what should happen. Now, I'm battling with, in the back of my mind, do I really believe that's going to happen? I got some theories in the back of my mind about how this thing's going to play out. But I'm telling you what, my job is to tell you what am I looking at on the court and who should win. The Warriors should win this thing in 6 games. They lost it in 7. I believe Kevin Durant makes you 2 games better, which would mean that they don't even get to a game 7 and they win game 6. That is what I'm dealing with right now. And that is where I'm at with my prediction. But let me make this clear. And this is speaking to Kevin Durant and LeBron James. And I'll even bring up Steph Curry in this conversation. Steph, you think you're the best shooter of all time? You claim to be the best player of all time? You're a 2-time MVP. The last time was unanimous. You want to be in that conversation of one of the greatest? Just in this century? You gotta win it. You gotta win that matchup with Kyrie Irving. There'll be no excuse. And if he defeats you for a 2nd straight year and dominates that matchup, you ain't in that top 4 or 5 point guard conversation. I'm sorry. I just can't put you in it. At least definitely not the top 3. You can't guard Russell Westbrook. You can't guard Kyrie. How in the hell are you a top 3 point? You getting a break on defense. So Steph, we're watching. And I'm watching who you guarding. I'm not saying you got to guard Kyrie Irving all the time. But in pivotal spots, you're going to have to come off J.R. Smith and go to Kyrie Irving. Period. You're going to have to play some defense. Because all them other guys have to play defense. You don't. So you got to be extra special on offense. And in the finals, he wasn't that. Kevin Durant, you want to be considered one of the top of your class. And I don't care about him saying that the finals really don't matter to him. What's next? He's just trying to downplay the finals. This is what we do in life, fellas. Don't act like you don't do it too. When you with your lady, oh man, it's a very, very bad night for me. I don't know if I got that many minutes in me tonight, baby doll. I might get laid down for 3 of the best minutes of your life. Then you go for 9, 12 minutes, and she didn't expect that. So what do we do as a society? We undersell and over-deliver. That's the goal. Kevin Durant's trying to undersell and over-deliver. So he's underselling the importance of an NBA championship, but I guarantee he gonna be thotting and bopping on social media like Meek Mill if they win that championship this year. We probably gonna see another side of Kevin Durant after this if he wins the championship. If he becomes a champion, you think he arrogant now? It's gonna be worse than that. He's just trying to undersell and over-deliver. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But let's not make any excuses. If you lose again and they added you and they beat the Cavs without you, what is your legacy? Are you really the second best player in the league? Are you? Because Kawhi Leonard got a Finals MVP. And that team wasn't just stacked. Tim Duncan was on his final legs. Are you really as good as advertised? Are you just a regular season guy? Because I know a lot of really, really good regular season guys that can't get it done when the bright lights are on. Because we don't give you nowhere near the criticism you deserve. Even when LeBron went to Miami and it was organic, they were a very bad ball club before LeBron joined that team. We still give LeBron James slack for making a decision and going to Miami and joining up with D-Wade and Chris Bosh, even though it wasn't like the team was already stacked. And the Cavs damn sure didn't lose in the playoffs to the Miami Heat the year before. The Miami Heat didn't even make the playoffs. LeBron joined a struggling Miami Heat team with Dwayne Wade, who had been dealing with a lot of injuries, and Chris Bosh, who had never won anything significant in Toronto. You joined a 73-win team, Kevin Durant, and you don't get nowhere near the criticism that LeBron James get. But I want you to understand this. Just because you don't get the criticism that LeBron gets, that's not good. Because people criticize LeBron because we're comparing him to Michael. I don't even think people compare you to LeBron anymore in this era. So I want you to understand that's not good that people are not more haters, the better. You do understand that, right? So your legacy right now to this date is one of the greatest talents we've ever seen, but he couldn't produce rings, couldn't win anything. You already played with a top 5 NBA player. He just won the MVP without you. It wasn't like LeBron had that in Cleveland the first time. He didn't have a top 5 player. You couldn't get it done with a top 5 player. You had James Harden in the finals. He's a top 5 player now. Now, granted, James Harden needed to bloom a little bit more. But at one given time, you had Harden, Westbrook, and Ibaka on that team that lost to the Miami Heat in the finals when LeBron won his first ring. So, KD, I'm just saying, you can downplay the finals all you want to. Your legacy is such if you don't win. And LeBron, let me make this clear because people think I'm giving LeBron an out. LeBron, you don't got an out in this either. And I know going into the playoffs, going into the season, I was like, LeBron's playing with house money this year. There's no pressure for him to win a ring. I got to change that. I'm not going to lie. I had to think about something. Because, and I know LeBron's been in 7 straight NBA finals. And the brothers, to me, if he wins this, he's better than Michael Jordan. I've been saying that throughout the season. All my subscribers know. Welcome to the family if you're a new subscriber. Y'all know I really rock with this LeBron over Michael category. I think LeBron, in the back of my mind, I think LeBron's more impressive to me than Michael now. But I can't call LeBron better than Jordan if he's like 3-4 in the finals. 3-4, 3-5 in the finals. Sorry, I can't do it. And if he gets to 500, we can have that conversation because LeBron's giving himself more opportunities to win rings than what Michael did. Like, even though Michael was 6-0, there were a lot of years that Michael got eliminated in the first round. So let's not forget that. LeBron's losing in the finals because he's giving his team a chance to compete. But with that being said, LeBron, there's a finals that I can't erase. Like, I will give you the first year, back in, what was that, 2007, when he lost to the San Antonio Spurs, when Duncan was still in his prime, when Manu and Parker were still in their prime, and he had no help in Cleveland. He took Zydrunas Ilgauskas to the NBA Finals. I'll give LeBron a break for that. That finals doesn't count to me. Jordan couldn't do that. I'll give him a break that year. I'll give LeBron a break for that second loss to San Antonio. What was that, 2014? His last year in Miami. Dwayne Wade was on his last legs. Kawhi and them just outplayed him. I mean, I'm not giving him a break like I am the first one, but I mean, you just lost to a good series in the finals. Y'all lost in 5 games. You lost to a good team in the finals. Y'all lost in 5 games that year. It's really not acceptable, but I mean, I'll give him a little break on that one. And of course, I'll give him a break for 2015 because he had lost to a Warriors team that was really good. They ended up going 73-9 the next season. And he didn't have his top guns. Kevin Love was gone, and after the Kelly Olynyk injury, and Kyrie Irving was out after the first game. LeBron dang near won it without them. Numbers were phenomenal that series. He should have won Finals MVP. He took that thing 6 games without them. But I ain't giving you a break for this one playoff loss to the Dallas Mavericks when LeBron averaged like 18 points a game or something like that. It was something crazy. One game he had like 11 or something crazy, 12 points or something like that. You lost to the Dallas Mavericks. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the worst team in NBA history to win a championship. Dallas had as least weapons as possible. They had one really, really good player, a really good all-star star in Dirk Nowitzki. And he just had role players around him. LeBron, you have more with your Cleveland Cavaliers team than that Dallas team had when they beat you, Dwayne Wade, who was in his prime and healthy at that time, and Chris Bosh, who was in his prime and healthy in that time. And you choked in the finals, LeBron. So, with that being said, if we didn't give, we couldn't give Dirk an out, it would have been a finals loss if they lost to you guys. Nevertheless, and you would have had your championship then. I can't give you an out now. You got more weapons now. Dirk won with less. You have enough to beat that Golden State Warriors team. Kevin Love playing phenomenal basketball. Kyrie Irving is playing like a top 10 basketball player, maybe top 6, top 7. You're the so-called best player on the planet. You got enough, barring any injuries. And I hope that, knock on wood, everybody's healthy for these playoffs. You got enough, LeBron James. And the Warriors, y'all have enough. This should be one of the best finals of all time. Looking at my time right now, I'm close to 25 minutes of an NBA Finals breakdown. I'll come back with a few shorter videos for those who don't like the long content. But that's your NBA Finals breakdown. I'm going with the Golden State Warriors in 6 games. I think Golden State's going to come out tonight and hit the Cavs in the mouth. Go up 1-0. I then think the Cavs are going to win game 2. I then think the Cavs will go up 2-1, and just like in 2015, the Warriors will win the next 3 and win this thing in Cleveland for their 2nd title in 3 years, Kevin Durant's 1st championship. That's what should happen. In the back of my mind, I got another way this thing plays out, but that's my prediction, and I'm rolling with it. Golden State in 6 games. I want to know your predictions. Talk to me in the comment box below. I want to know how many games and who do you have winning this NBA Finals matchup. It should be fun, guys. I'm so excited for it. It's been a slow news week. I've been doing a lot of stories on hip-hop stuff. I've been waiting for the finals. I got so much stuff coming. I got another channel that I'm pushing too with just straight sports content. We're trying to grow, guys. So thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. NBA Finals breakdown. That way. Yeah. Golden State in 6. Who you got? Talk to me in the comment box below. I'm active, y'all. I'm out. If you're looking to book me for an interview video or by phone, if you're looking to have your music or your skill featured on my daily podcast, if you're looking to book me for a speaking engagement to help motivate some kids, if you're looking to have me rock some of your clothing to help promote your brand, make sure you hit me up at booking@itsmrtaliaferro.com. Again, that's booking@itsmrtaliaferro.com.